All right, so gonna be doing a morning video here. Sorry, I've been kind of lacking on these, but I've been dealing with issues with illnesses. Seems like as I get over one, I got another one, or it's just all lingering. But finally getting to a video just today. Even that's late. We're quarter to 10 here, but seems like the market's still on autopilot. I kind of had the idea that October was going to be the low. Makes sense. I had May as kind of that breakout, right? So the May was going to be the breakout. So it's all going to plan, right? And what I mean by plan is if you take these anchored VWAPs from the lows, these lines that are coming from critical points in this market, you can see when we touch those, we get bounces, right? Here's the low, right? Anchored VWAP coming up. Oh, surprise, it bounces directly off it. And look, it's all according to plan, right? It's all following parameters. You can listen to CNBC and, oh, look at this. Oh my gosh. I mean, you guys need to figure this out. And most of you have heard this over and over from me in these videos, and I put it into the chat once in a while. It's a giant video game. There are not hundreds of guys sitting around saying, hey, we're all going to buy here, right? And then we're going to sell here. No, it's all computers, and they're just following the parameters, the algorithms, the bots, whatever you want to say. The vast majority of the trading volume is not done by dudes and women. It is done by computers. And they just don't do things for the heck of it. Right? They follow the trends. They follow parameters, statistics, standard deviations, numbers. They don't care about emotions. They barely even care about fundamentals. Right? Let's just take something's got a surge in volume. We take that until its next stop. And then we get off at the next stop and we wait for the next train to come through. And that one's coming through. That one's going fast. That one's going far. We jump on that one and we go to the next. Does not matter. They care about the ticker and the momentum and the volume and where it is in terms of its standard deviations. How far is it to? Is it low enough and moving fast enough? Does it have a long enough ride? Can we get the most out of it? Because that's all that matters. Because all those bots are just caring about returns, right? They're just trying to do their job. And if they can take something from $5 and run it to 25, beautiful. And guess what? That is how we want to fight this, right? We're trying to do the same thing. We're trying to sniff out when they are done going one direction and they want to go the other, because it's better passively. Its best potential is in the other direction. That's when they figure it out, or they're exhausted one direction as much as they can. We jump in. Yes, I'm passionate about that. But anyway, let's take a look here. I'm working at the SPY in all-time highs. We can see this line is from, all the way from the all-time high. You can see where touched here. This was a major point, right? 1, 2, boom, popped out. This is the other big sucker, right? Once we finally broke out here, see resistance, right? Came down, touched this one, came out, retouched, right? Or retested, and then just grind away. Broke down through. Oh no, hit the anchored VWAP, popped up, and recaught, right? Boom, boom. Just following the lines. And this is messy and it's hard to read, but this is what you can see how these things work. All right, so next, let's take a look at the Qs. Probably gonna look similar, right? Same thing. Okay. Dow we can look at too, but let's look at the XBI. It's probably more important right now. So double tap here, coming up. That's probably some solid resistance, but since October, she's done very well. Trading, everything's bullish here. How much does she want to bring it down? Do we have anything here? No, so we don't know. We can see the uptrend, right? The next thing that we probably have is this sucker. That's way down here, but that's something we probably have to wait for until about mid-year. So the question is, what's it want to do right? So there's March. Okay. April. Maybe, yeah, I would say probably about May is when she's going to test this sucker. Because this is going to take a while for it to roll over. So even if it ever wants, we're not even sure if it's going to, but if it does touch it, it's probably not going to be until May. Can't imagine it just chewing down through this. She's got anchored VWAPs. Let's don't have one in here yet. Where can we get that? So around 81. About mid-February is where we're going to be looking. Okay. So that's the next. Let's see if we can chart something here. No, because that's a break. Okay. Maybe to March? That's too aggressive. She's going to break out, retest, grind back up. Yeah. It's hard to predict this one, but... anybody else to look at? SPY, Qs, no. Take a look at the IYH. Yeah, she's strong. Anchored volume here. Good volume shelf. She can probably squeeze down to here. This is... yeah, 284 is a possibility over the next month. If she sells off. I'm just trying to figure out where we have a shot to maybe look for a nice general reload here, but we're going to have to pick individual tickers. Any bad news on Omer? What's going on here? Nothing on Omer, huh? She's getting tired, but that's interesting. She's trading below buy threshold, so buy target one's at $3. It's probably not a bad pickup here. Didn't load up as much as I wanted to, but let's see if we can figure out a better spot. See, like that's, yeah, so if she breaks 3, she probably could get to, I mean, the volatility, that's pretty big, so let's go see. Yeah, again, waiting for March to maybe get 224 would probably be a better spot for us here, because that'd still be kind of, I guess, close. Yeah, that maybe 250 in maybe end of April. 250 at the end of April for Omer. She's selling off after that. Yeah, but see where it bounced again. You see where these things bounce right off. See, didn't even allow it to hang out down there. Right off these anchored VWAPs. Is that the low for sure? Yeah. I gotta zoom in a little more here. So see, see where she... I mean, come on, guys. Come on. Came out, hit this one, popped up, woke up yesterday, traded. I mean, there's probably one. Do I dare? Shut up. Look at that. Look at yesterday. That's from the low, right? The recent low in October. That's where she traded yesterday, in between these two anchored VWAPs. From the recent high and the low. Can't make this up, guys. Can't make this up. So if you're looking to get on ESPR, we'll put it in here now. I think I might buy that in a minute here. That's a good spot. If it sells off, it does, whatever. But, you know, she could probably... We could wait to 175 for another one. I mean, I'm not going to buy anything big, but... you know, that new indication just expands the market dramatically. There's nothing really stopping it. But if you don't believe me, guys, if you don't believe me, I don't know what more evidence. I mean, I guess I could just keep doing this all day, but anybody else that we need to? I'm on big on Agen right now. Looks like that's looking pretty good. Notice again, just failing to hold above this anchored VWAP. Look at all these downtrend rays. There's nothing, you know, stepping in right now, so I'm not. I wanted to buy some yesterday. I think I might pull the trigger today. This monthly RSI has really not bottomed out yet, so there's no strength here yet. But I mean, right now we're starting to come up off this bottom here. They might have already. Yeah, they might have started something already here. Now can we say that's happened several times? Yeah. But that's pretty clean, so it's dropping below. Is there anything lower? No, that might just be a temporary bounce. See, like, this can be a great bullish divergence, right? Because, you know, here's the lower daily RSI right here, right? That's the low, and then now where the share price is lower, but the RSI is higher. That's a standard bullish divergence in the RSI. But what we like to see is that happening on multiple time frames. So this is like, hey, we're interested, maybe we can nibble here, but you know, at the same time, we have not seen the monthly RSI start to curl up, and we want to see essentially a bullish divergence there. So to me, we might even want to see for Agen even a lower share price, right? And then we're throwing into the fact that they're going to probably have to do a reverse split, all that, and that's when the people are going to wait for that whole mess to figure itself out. Now, if you read the article that I posted yesterday, these guys have several big catalysts coming in the next couple of years. So at some point, they'll figure this all out, and it'll be a really good investment. You know, at least I should say a speculative trade that could turn into a good long-term investment. But you know, we're gonna wait probably to get really big and aggressive with this once the monthly RSI starts to curl up a little bit after probably another low in the share price, but a stronger monthly RSI. Now, once that occurs and the daily drops below, the daily RSI drops below a rising monthly that has done a bullish divergence there, that's when you really can take advantage, because you're getting a weakness in the RSI on the daily time frame, but is strengthening monthly. And when that happens, we usually see a solid snapback, especially if the share price drops below the Keltner channel. Again, there's a lot of other things. It can become a stronger and stronger and stronger setup. And that's worked for several years now, right? And that's where we can sit there, usually get a nice solid snapback, goes for a nice solid run, book profits real quick, move to a house money position. We've made our profit, and we just let the rest run for a long time, take that final piece of profit, and then look for the reload, or it just runs, and then you've done your job. You've done it, and you're already on to, you know, several other tickers during that time frame. It works. It works, and it's also, I mean, it's the best. Sorry, I shouldn't say it's the best, because that might be false advertising, but to me, it's the least painful way of doing these speculative trades, Because if you're going to sit there and worry about the fundamentals and the day-to-day up and down with these things, it's too stressful. There's too much going on. You can go into the ETFs, which I should have taken advantage of probably this last year. I didn't do enough of it, but the day-to-day speculative tickers, man, is it just too much to follow? Just wait for the setups. Even if you love the ideas, or hate them in some cases, you just gotta wait. There's just too much opportunity, and there's too many times you could be so correct clinically with these. Like, you look at the data, and even the fundamental thesis, the bull thesis for these companies looks great, but Agen, a great example. Like, these guys are burning cash. There's a reason why there's weakness, but they're also potentially sitting on one of the best neoadjuvant combinations you can add to almost every. I mean, so far, the safety says you can almost add this to almost every type of therapy, and it will improve in almost a long list of solid tumors. Like, this is something that, at this point, if you have cancer, you have a solid tumor, they have something that almost everybody should at least be taking. Right? I mean, if that really does work out, this is an easy billion-dollar drug combination. Why is it down here? Weak financials. But why does it look like this bad? Technicals. It's easy just to keep grinding it down. The people who want to get in want it cheap. They want all your shares. They want them. They're starting to accumulate now, but hey, it's still going lower. Well, they're selling against their buys. They're working the system. They're buying positions and selling them at the same time. They want to walk it down. If they could get to them, it's worth trying to get the extra 5-10 cents here. Get 8. I mean, the amount of volume they can get in terms of trades at this level is insane. This is where they make the money, guys. They want to inflict max pain, so you are helping them drive the share price lower so they don't have to sell as much as their own position to get. Come on. They don't have to short as much against it if you are just willing to give your own shares up, because they're going to be the ones buying it. It's how it works. It's not, I mean, it makes sense, but for some reason people don't put that into their thought process here. All right, I'm going on my rant. I'm sorry. They want you out on the best stuff. Even Myrna. I mean, they worked that down. Finally moved sideways, broke out, retested, popped back up. You know, look at this. Now we're grinding up. Ran into some resistance here. But tell me why Moderna is not going to be a massive success in a decade or so. They already pulled in so much cash they could just buy their way out of these things. They already did it. They've been de-risked. They have a war chest of cash now. They just need one or two of their programs they've been working on for, half a decade to a decade to finally make it. And now it's a government paid for vaccine. That's all money that they got. Just sitting there. And if they're right with what they originally designed their mRNA for, which is what a lot of people believe the mRNA's biggest potential is in oncology. Teaching your body to, hey, why is your body not identifying this cancer? Because it should be. I mean, unless you have such a weakened immune system, that's a different situation. But if you are a healthy person, your body, for some reason, just couldn't find the cancer because of whatever reason. It's a cold or, it's just something that's tricked your body. All we have to say to your body is use the mRNA and be like, hey, this is what you should be doing. Here's your instructions. Go take care of it. And it's amazing. It'll probably work. And not only will it work on a local level, but we're talking systemic. The whole body, like, you don't have to, metastases will start to be gobbled up too. Gosh. I'm getting, you know, ooh, what's going on with Genmab here? Is this just technical? Still this arbitration junk, huh? I missed this yesterday. Oh, that's pretty late, that's why. Okay, well, we'll put Genmab on the list here. Again, like, it stinks because they're not going to have... I believe Genmab. Now, I'm also a Johnson & Johnson guy too, but Genmab, I believe them and Halozyme should have a lot to argue in these legal cases, because I mean Genmab developed the drug essentially, and Halozyme has the advanced formulation. So it's like Johnson's just the basically the financier, right? And guy, I mean, yeah, they're the ones that help push it through the FDA and get it all done, and that's huge, two huge things. But I can't believe these. Just denying these appeals, but still, they're gonna get billions of dollars from one of the best-selling drugs in the world. It stinks that they're not going to be as big of a growth potential here, but they're still pulling in money, and some of the best stuff they're done. I shouldn't say they're done, but their partnerships, they're not relying on partnerships soon. These guys are going to have wholly owned drugs on the market, right? Not like, hey, you're going to use part of our technology, you just owe us some money. Like, this is ours from start to finish right now. Who knows what they'll do with commercialization, but they're going to have stuff that's their stuff, like their proprietary drugs, that probably going to be better than most of the stuff on the market. So as long as they're getting some money to help fund those efforts, and they can finally get to that point where their drug is 100% through, and someone wants to pay for it, or if they want to market it themselves, go for it. It's going to be hard to, like, deny that it's going to be, the best-in-class drugs for some of these things. All right, sorry. Again, I'm going off, but what is going on here? Is this earnings? Oh, yeah, look at that. Oh, so this is preliminary stuff? Okay. I'll probably add to this once I see a reversal set up here, because that was looking pretty good. They had something going, but obviously you can see the downtrend here. So getting the top of, oh, that's the middle of that Keltner monthly Keltner channel. So that was just kind of floating up with everything else, but yeah, I think the bottom is in here, though, guys, because this is a great example, right? She sold off for so long. Here's the bottom of the monthly, right? We have the monthly RSI here, right? Now, it's a stronger monthly RSI, but we're seeing a lower share price. Then you see the situation within that same... So, yeah, there's the monthly, but then we have a daily bullish divergence here. Right? So here's the lower daily RSI, right? Lower share price, but higher RSI. Now, when the monthly's rising, right? This dotted RSI is rising, but the daily's shooting down below. This is where you get the snaps. This should have been us. This is my fault. I apologize for this. But this is where we could have. This is probably the low. So I'm going to be looking to add here just a little bit. I'll take that. All right, Johnson. This is weakness on what? Oh, you know what? Probably the Dow. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, looking at what's going on here, there's probably weakness in the Dow, right? Is she outside the... Yeah, so here's the thing. Let's go to the monthly here, just so you guys can see. We're outside the monthly Keltner channel on the day... Yeah. So we're... See, that's the spot where we just kind of ran into it. So we're outside the monthly Keltner channel here on the diamonds. So we just need to be aware of that. Don't overreact. Oh, is it the interest rates or the election? No! It's not. It's the Keltner channel. This is where it is. This is where it is, guys. Okay? Why do we stop here? I don't have too much on the diamonds, sorry. But financial crisis, actual issue. Didn't even touch it. Oh, wait, never mind. There's... Sorry. It was the month... Yeah, it's this one. The random 2015. And this, 520. I lost it. Yeah, never mind. There's one in here. Maybe it's this one. Anyway, I'm messing myself up here. The diamonds, it's one of these. It's either this one or this one that this works with, but it's just getting too messy. But point being is that even COVID was following the parameters of when we stopped and came back up, especially on the S&P, hit right on the dot. So, OGN, this is one we need to watch. Let's go to the daily. Sorry for the long video, but I should probably just live stream this so you guys can just listen to me all day. Isn't that great? That'd be a great idea. I could just sit here and talk to you all day. Talk at you. Because I'm not going to let you guys talk. I'll get that back up and running. That's, again, another project that... Okay, so she's looking bullish here. I'm going to add OGN. So we got OGN, Triple M. What else do we have on here? Genmab and ESPR. All right, I'll put that into the chat. I know it's well after 10. Not going to help us out that much, but, you know, maybe a lot of the afternoon's been the better opportunities recently, which is good because usually in the bull markets, that's what happens is, you know, the positive moves are done basically pre-market because Europe is just following China and China's just following our momentum right at the end of the day. So we open up green, fade, and then recover. And then as we're tailing out into the right before like 2, 3 o'clock before power hour, you can still find an opportunity, and that's where you can make the ad because you can see the setup that's going to continue into the next day. So that's kind of where I've been looking. If not, it's been on the dips in the morning, right around now. So 10:30 to 11:30 is an opportunity on anything that's opened up that's starting to fade. But there's a good setup we can add to those. Anyway. Anything else to throw in there, I will put into the chat, but that's my primaries to look at. Take away from this. Everything's going according to plan. Just follow the algorithms, follow the bots, and the day that, you know, something horrendous happens and we need to deal with it, we'll deal with it then, just like everybody else. But we can't worry about, you know, is this going to be the top or not? People have been saying that it's been the top and we'll never see the S&Ps at its previous highs for a decade, and it took us 10 months. So, there you go. All right. I'll put that in the chat. I got a couple more actually like 3 more things to work on. I have a long list from you guys to keep working on. I apologize that takes so long, but lots of stuff to talk about. This year, again, if you haven't listened, this year's loaded with PDUFA dates and data readouts because we're finally dealing with like kind of this recovery from COVID where all these clinical trials were put on, halted. You couldn't even do them because, obviously all the COVID and public health policies stopped people from going to their doctor. And some of these things had to be restarted all over again. So it's taking us a couple years, but now everything's just been delayed. It's being dropped. And that's and some of the stuff that they've been working in the labs are finally getting into, the over COVID and stuff they've been working on in terms of R&D are finally starting to make it in the clinic. So there's some it's a lot going on. So I'm going to try my best to stay on top of the charts, but then also, hey, let's keep an eye on the clinic as well. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, and as always, stay healthy.